If you've been looking for the right time to buy, stop waiting. For the first time ever, we have 0% financing on every new 2009 Toyota car we sell. Even the Sienna van at 0%, and our entire Toyota truck line at an incredible savings during our perfect timing event. Stop waiting. You may never have this kind of buying power again on your new Toyota. You've waited, now it's time to act. At Iowa's #1 dealer for all brands, period. Toyota of Des Moines.
All right, we're going to spend some time here in the Baylor Bears. Oh, hold that dial, don't go away, because there's a reason why. If Art Briles, who enters his second year at head coach there with the Baylor Bears, if he can do it in Waco, it's not wacko to think that it can be done in Iowa. State names Iowa. That's why we have to really look at this team. John, they have good skill positions. Griffin, the quarterback. Lanier Sampson. They've got David Geddes. They got Finley, the running back. A good experienced offensive line. There's one Big 12 assistant coach out there saying, look out, Baylor is staring down the barrel of 8-4 and making some noise out of the South. You're not buying, though.
Yeah, I've read a little bit of that, online and in different publications, that Baylor could be the surprise of the South this year and even the Big 12. But when you take a look at that schedule, I have a hard time plucking 4 or 5 conference wins out of that schedule. I see them, they were 4-8 last year overall and 2-6 in the Big 12. I don't see that changing much. It may go a game one way or a game the other, but they've got road games at Oklahoma. They've got a road game at Iowa State, which, are two teams in a similar position talent-wise, I think, this year. They go at Missouri, Nebraska at home, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas. There's a lot of good teams in there. I see them maybe beating an Iowa State, an A&M, maybe a Missouri to get to a third win. But other than that, I don't see them being able to contend with the upper echelon teams this year. I think Briles maybe positions himself well for year 3 with a junior quarterback coming back in Robert Griffin, who's a total playmaker, kind of a mini Vince Young type player, the way he moves his feet and can throw the football. Bit inconsistent as a freshman, but really started to come on at the end of the season and had a good offseason as well.
Here's where I'll go with you. In the old days, when you played Baylor, it was only a big game if you lost. That's not the case anymore. You beat Baylor, it's almost like survival. You got away from the Baylor Bears. I agree with you schedule-wise. A&M, let's forego that. I want to get into the Big 12 North and South title game. What do you think this year? And the South is going to be a logjam again. I think we're going to tiebreakers. I hate the system, but it is what it is. What do you think? Are we looking at a 3-4 team logjam?
Well, I have 7-1 records for the top 3: the Oklahoma State, and Texas. So, with those 3 teams being log jammed up, you got to take a look at that tiebreaker to see who the representative is coming out and playing who I think will be the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the Big 12 championship. But I really see the South champion being the better team. I think the 3 best teams in the Big 12 are in the South.
All right, we're out of time on football. I want to leave you with this note, baseball-wise. Cubs obviously getting Samardzija Ramirez down to Peoria. They finish up with the Pirates, and then it's a huge holiday weekend series on the north side of Chicago with the Milwaukee Brewers coming in. Poolhouse is pounding the ball. DeRosa looks like he's got a wrenched wrist. So he's 0 for 9 right now. He was pulled in the 6th inning. And American League, how about Baltimore? Their biggest comeback since they moved from the St. Louis Browns to the Baltimore Orioles. They scored 10, a pair of 5s late, hung up an 11-10 win. Those are your baseball highlights. iCubs home through Friday. Josh Hamilton, the phenom from the Texas Rangers, on a rehab with Oklahoma City. Good job out of Chris New today. Andy Erickson, Jeff Jorgensen, the whole crew. He's John McDermott. I'm Marty Terrell. This is Mad Dog. And we're going to be mouthing it this afternoon starting at 4. Tom Steffes, John McDermott, and the whole crew on a Polly Eyes Pizza Wednesday. Polly Eyes. For the best pie, it's Polly Eyes. Merle Hay Road in Johnston. The original in Grinnell and in Iowa City for all those Saturday football forays into Iowa City for the Hawkeyes. Don't forget Mouth of the Midwest coming up Thursday and Friday night on KCCI during David Letterman. We'll do a minute on the Hawks, a minute on the Clones. We'll see you this afternoon at 4. 6-2 and even. Adios.